welcome to 216, a Link to the Past randomizer podcast. I am your host, Fear Agent. Thank you for joining us for week number 3 with a new guest. Gammachuu is going to be on the show today. Also got a new theme song, only 3 episodes in. Like the first one, wasn't 100% feeling it, so found something new, made something new that I think fits the show and my personality just a little bit better. Never know, might even mix it up again. I make no guarantees on what the theme is going to be, but that's the theme going forward for a little while at least. I've been back playing the game. I've been enjoying that, joining the ladder again, playing some inverted cross keys, and had some really rough seeds. Ended up going, I think I'm 1-1 the last couple of races, done some cross keys. I think I'm 2-0 in that. That's been fun. Just trying to get back into the swing of things, trying to enjoy the game a bit more. And I think I am. I think I'm trying to figure out what it is that I like to do. Cross keys is probably the thing that I enjoy the most, though something that I also find a lot that can be really frustrating because you just never know how it's going to go. But I'm enjoying the game, and I think for myself, not overplaying is a big part. I can lose, and I can be okay with losing. But a lot of times I like to try to make it right, quote unquote. And if I lose, I'll jump right back in and try to get a win. And then I lose again. And then the cycle repeats itself. So if I can avoid trying to make up for losses, which is such a silly idea, I think I can get back to enjoying the game for what it is. Lots of tournaments going on, of course. Main tournament still in the bracket stages. Kind of going chalk for the most part. I think as far as favorites go, I haven't seen too many huge upsets. Of course, when you get to top 64, top 32, it's hard to call any of them upsets because the runners are so good. But again, keep an eye out for Scottish Brave versus Zen That's what I'm really hoping for. And again, Zelga being my pick to win the whole thing. So keep an eye on that as well. New Casual Boots tournament just recently got announced. We'll be running in July. Should be fun. Signed up for that one. Not 100% sure I'll be joining. I know that there's a Cross Keys tournament that's going to be announced pretty soon, or I imagine it will be announced pretty soon, as they ran it around the same time last year. So I don't know if I want to do both Cas Boots and Cross Keys. And the Cross Keys turnout was huge last year, so I expect the Cross Keys turnout to be pretty big. I think the Cas Boots is capped at 128, which is a lot. So I don't know. We'll see. I am currently signed up for it, but come July, I'm not sure if I'm going to be wanting to run 2 tournaments. Well, I'll probably wait until I find out more information about the Cross Keys tournament, but that should be going on, or that should be announced, I imagine, relatively soon. I know the Mentor tournament's going, with it being a lot of new runners. I'm not really familiar with any of the names over there, but make sure you check out the Mentor tournament that the Go Mode podcast is putting on right now. Ladder Open Plus Invitational over on the ladder is about to wrap up with its finals. Spoilers. It is Area versus Humbug. Awesome matchup there. Don't know who's the favorite. Maybe Area. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's don't be surprised that by a win from either one of them. But I think the winners gets like a Super NT or something equivalent. So that's pretty cool. Check out the ladder for that. What else is going on? Stranger Things season 4, not rando related, just dropped about a week ago. My wife and I ended up binging most of the season, the last like 4 of the 7, maybe 5 of the 7 episodes on last Sunday. And damn, that show is super good. I am a big Stranger Things fan. Didn't know what it was when it first came out, as everyone, it was a brand new property, but word spread really fast for Stranger Things season 1, and I ate it up. love season 2. I know there's people that aren't a big fan of season 2 and some of the directions that went there. Of course, love season 3, and season 4 it's the darkest it's been. I'm not going to get into spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything, so don't worry about that. But that episode 4, got me in the feels big time. That was a strong episode. Really loved season 4 of Stranger Things. So if you got Netflix, highly recommend checking out Stranger Things season 4 while you can. Broken up into 2 parts. Part 2 comes out early July. I can't wait for that. Yeah, no spoilers. That's that episode 4. The music, the feels, the moment. It was awesome. Today on the show, we've got Gammachuu, one of my best friends in the community. Dude is super popular, and he's got an infectiousness about him. Just a kind of a really positive, fun guy to be around. I know he wasn't imagined that I would introduce him that way, but when you become friends, the best thing to do is to give them as much shit as you can. So a lot of times in chat, you'll see myself for GGW, Shireen, P-Train. Well, P-Train doesn't give anybody shit. Let's just be honest. P-Train's too good of a guy for that. Mooga Charm, Hitsu. You see a lot of Gamma's friends give him a lot of shit in chat. And whenever we can, just because, he's a lovable dude, really good at the game. And it's a fun conversation that we have. So let me talk about something before we jump into the conversation, though. And that's League Season 4 and the ending of League Season 4. We talk about that. And so basically what happened is Gammachuu and the Skull Kids ended up forfeiting game number 5 after Gamma's game crashed in game number 4. And the Titansmiths, within their rights, did not offer a rematch. They won the match fair and square. Crashes happen. It sucks, but that's part of the game. If you crash and you can't complete the game, sorry, you're kind of shit out of luck that way. So, I was created the league. I was the admin of the league for the 4 seasons, and I ended up leaving shortly before the end of season 4. And I was a part of the Skull Kids through 4 weeks, and just for things that I talked about on the show, struggling with depression and things like that. I just couldn't play the game. I just was not in the right headspace to play the game. And Shireen and Gammachuu understood. And since they're my friends, held no ill will for me leaving the team in the middle of the season. They replaced me with Ramond, which is a huge upgrade. And, catapulted them into being one of the favorites to win the whole thing. So as a league admin, I tried to remain neutral, but I was always rooting for the Skull Kids, former team and my good friends. And there's a lot of fallout from what happened with Game 4. And again, Sailor Neb and the Titansmiths did absolutely nothing wrong. No reason for them to offer a rematch. 100% within their rights, and it is what it is. Would I have liked to see a rematch? Sure, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I want. There was no need for them to offer a rematch. So, if I was on Skull Kids, I would say, it's unfortunate, but let's win Game 5. And Skull Kids chose not to play Game 5, and they forfeited. And already struggling with self-worth and depression, it kind of wrecked me. And the fact that it wrecked me also wrecked me. Like, I was upset that I was upset about this video game. And I ended up having to leave the league completely, handed over the league to Sigma and the rest of the admins. And they understood, again, because they're my friends and they want what's best for me. I hated doing it, but I did what I had to do for my own mental health. I was angry at the Skull Kids. I was angry at Gammachuu and Shireen and Ramond for specifically Shireen and Gamma for not playing out that last game. And of course, I was angry that I was angry. so that's never fun. I've since reconciled with Shireen and Gamma, and while I might not agree with them or even understand it, that doesn't even matter because they're my good friends, and so I can get over that. And I've been obviously working through depression, and I'm in a really good spot now. And I know that the depression is never going to fully go away, but I found ways to handle it and cope with it, and hopefully enjoy this game and not get depressed or angry. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk to Gammachuu because he was right in the thick of it and was part of the team that was at the center of it. And we're gonna get honest. Fun conversation with Gamma. Don't think that it's all depression and what went wrong. There's a lot of positivity there because Gamma is a really is a positive guy, and despite being an asshole, he is a really positive guy, and I don't know, just someone I'm glad to call a friend. So yeah, just wanted to address the whole elephant in the room of the league and where I stood and where I stood with the Skull Kids. You know, we're almost a full year, I don't know, 10 months away from it all. Everything is good. I hope everyone can get along. That's really what I wanted from the league. So again, no ill will towards Gamma, Shireen, Ramond. None towards the Titans mitts. Glad to see them as champions. Consider a lot of them my friends. And yeah, all positivity from here on out. So good to get it addressed. Good to get it all out, get it out off my chest. And you'll have a bit more context to what Gamma and I talk about when we talk about the league season 4. But it's a fun conversation. You'll hear some birds and stuff because Gamma's got like 1 million animals. So you'll hear that in the background. So you can blame Gamma for that one. But yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so it's time to find out who the real Gammachuu is. We need to go deep. We're going to deep dive into who Gammachuu really is, because I look at your ladder win percentage and it's 80%. 105 wins and 27 losses. That's insane, dude. Insane.
I mean, that's a lot of it has to do with luck too, right? So I like to consider
yes, 80% is more than luck, man. That's just mad skills, right? Like if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
season 2 overall champion, season 8 overall champion on the ladder.
Well, I have been putting a lot of work into Rando, right? Like, before I even started getting into Rando competitively, I wanted to learn all the glitches that was allowed. I wanted to be kind of like somebody would race against me, like, oh yeah, this guy's maybe a little bit scarier. He's pretty good, pretty decent. I learned all the dark rooms because I didn't want to depend on lamp. Just kind of whatever I can to try to get close to the competition when I started playing.
You did this before you started racing?
Before I even put my first run in, what is it? What did we have before race time? We had something else. I forgot what that was called.
Yeah,
there you
SRL.
Go. Yeah, before my first SRL race, I already had to learn how to do all the minor glitches, if you want to call it that. So just for that reason, I want people to know, like, oh, he's pretty decent. He's pretty good.
I think we need to go back further, though, to really find out how someone gets to a randomizer and gets 80% win rate on the ladder. So when did you start playing, before even Rando, when did you start playing Link to the Past?
Link to the Past before.
Did you grow up with it?
The first time? Yeah.
Yeah.
The very first time I played it was when I was a little kid, like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9. I loved that game. That game and Super Metroid were the 2 games I played the most on Super Nintendo back then. I know
you already had you already had a love for Zelda stuff then. Before you started in Rando.
That was my very first Zelda game that I played, and I fell in love with that, and I got hooked, and ever since then I've been a Zelda nerd, playing every Zelda game that came out.
Oh, you've played them all?
Yeah, I'm almost all. I think I only haven't done the first two, Zelda 1 and 2.
Oh, really?
But
We're gonna have to go back and play
else,
1 and 2. I just recently beat 1 and 2 for the first time, like recently.
You did?
Yeah.
Like I played a little bit of it, but I got stuck because it's kind of like it seems a little difficult just because it doesn't give you that much. I don't think guidance. I don't know.
Especially when you're a little kid, man.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'll go back to that later, and that later never came. Like, there's other games that just pops up, but no, they're very good games.
So I know you don't run NMG, but did you run any other speed runs, or were you speed running any games, or playing any games competitively before you got into Rando or Found Rando?
Oh yeah, those are only one game that sticks out right now. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of it. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of Quest 64?
I heard about it through you. I mean, I had a 64 and I played the heck out of 64, but I never heard of Quest 64. And then I saw you playing. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's Quest 64. Did you just make up this game? What is
that's
this
how
like?
I heard of Twitch too. That's how I've heard of Twitch. I never watched Twitch. I never seen Twitch. I didn't know what Twitch was. I was going through my old game, there's a nice little igloo I have with a lot of my old stuff in there, video games, consoles, and I was looking over that game. I'm like, oh, I have the original booklet for that game too. I'm like, huh, I wonder if a lot of people play this game, and I didn't know if speedrunning was a big thing back then. People would speedrun, not just that game, but every other game out there. Website, that's how I found out, through speedrun.com. Yeah. Somebody had posted a speedrun of that game, and I went through his channel, and it led me to Twitch, and that's how I found out. Oh wow, that's this is a streaming platform where people just play games or do their thing, and that's how I learned about speedrunning being a big thing. Also, that's how I found out about Link to the Past Rando too. I didn't know there was a Rando for any games out there.
So you're like, oh, here's Twitch, and here's of all of the games that are out there, you played Quest 64 as a kid when it originally came out. So
not when it came out,
all of the games, yes. You're like, let me speedrun Quest 64.
I just felt like I haven't played this game in a long time. Like I kind of forgot about a bits about it, but I just kind of wanted to get back to it. And it was nice to see there's one dedicated runner out there at that time. Bing Chang is who I was watching a lot of because he would play that game pretty frequently. And it's nice to see, people's love for a game. Like, they go over and over and, keep playing it over and over, even if the run is going bad, just for the amusement of those that are watching. So it was very enjoyable to watch. Yeah, it's not the most popular RPG game in its time. But again, it is nice to see, somebody does have a bit deep flow. Yes, or ever. Yeah, it was cool to see. But that's also how I saw, you get the Twitch feeds, you might be also interested in this and that. That's how I saw it, speed gaming, doing some rando streaming events. I think it was like a weekly or daily. And yeah, that's how I came across Link to the Past Rando.
Well, I'm kind of stuck up on Quest 64 here a little bit. So you saw that it was on Twitch and you found this other guy that was running it. There wasn't a lot of other people running the game?
Oh, no. At that time, no. Because I subscribe, put alerts on. So anytime he goes online, I would see how often he would run it. And I would also see how many other people would run that game, play it. And most of the time, it's rarely, it was only him. There's a few random streamers that would do it, not as frequently. But anytime you would, you want to watch somebody stream that game, it would probably be most likely him 99% of the time, Bing Chang. And
so when you're watching him play it, you're thinking, I could do this? I could beat him? Is that what you're thinking?
No, because he knows a lot of tech about the game that I don't. I was learning watching him. I speedran the game for a bit. I want to say for a couple of months, maybe 6 months. But it's a very difficult game. It's a heavy RNG. So, you have to actually have a lot of luck. I would say more luck than skill. There's a lot of skill, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of luck. You have to have RNG on your side. And if you don't, then you're just, you have to hit the reset button and go all over again.
Is it a long speed run? How long does it take?
I think it's the speed run time is about 2 hours and 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Oh, geez.
So
and there's a lot of luck involved as well. And that's 2 hours.
A lot, especially the end game. That's when it could come crashing down on you. Because if you end up getting to that point, you're already 2 hours into the run. You get into this one particular encounter at the end of the game. If you get it, it's game over. So you have to kind of cross your finger and hope, you don't encounter these random monsters that, you come across. And yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot my dog's in the background there.
Anyone that listens to or watches Gamma stream knows that he's got dogs. And so it's going to happen on the podcast as well. Not that big of a deal. So when you started running Quest 64, you said you did that for a couple months, you learned the stuff and you were just trying to see if you could do it, or did you want to be competitive, or how did that go about?
I'm a competitive person by nature. So I kind of wanted to see if I could get close to him, because he was the one running it more, the only one speed running it. Yeah. There'll be a few people playing it casually, but not speed running it, because again, it's super difficult. And yeah, for a couple of months, I kept trying to get closer and closer to that time of his. And it just, I did little by little, but I was still very off from ever reaching him. We did a few races together, very few of them, but he would always just utterly destroy me every time. Like I was not even close.
You never got close to the world record or anything?
No, and since I haven't played it in a while, I'm sure there has been a few more speed tech that I am not too familiar with to cut more time. But yeah, again, RNG heavy. You need a lot of luck on your side for that game.
Was there anything else you were competitive with online gaming wise before you even got to Rando, or did Rando finally scratch that itch for you?
No, I was considering, like I kind of want to go back to these old games I played when I was a child, Quest 64 being one of them. I wanted to speedrun them. I also wanted to speedrun all these games too that I have my backlog. Starting off with N64 games, try to see if I could get close to these world record times that other people have. I've also considered Yoshi's Story. What's the other one? Bomberman Hero.
You ran Kirby too, though, right? Or is that after you started playing Rando?
Yeah. Kirby is the other one. Oh my gosh, how did I forget that one? Kirby is another one. Kirby 64.
So when you're doing Quest 64, are you looking into other games as well? Is that like, I'm going to try to at least attempt to get good at these games?
Well, the idea originally was like, I'm going to stick to one game. And once I beat the world record of the, whoever's holding it, then I will move on to another game. But it's not that easy. It really is not that easy.
The first game you picked was Quest 64 and you never got there?
Yes. No, I never got there. It's like, I was several minutes off still. And I'm like, I'm going to be stuck here forever and I want to move on to another game. So it's difficult. It's difficult.
So what was the next game after Quest 64 then?
Kirby 64.
It was Kirby? Okay, so where are you at on there? Are you still, because I see you play it every once in a while still.
I'm so off because I'm signed up to get subscription alerts anytime somebody gets a good time on that game. I get notified like, hey, this person has beaten your time, and there's a lot of people are running it pretty frequently. So they're very close to the world record times, and I'm still about 15 minutes off from getting there.
Geez.
It's like I haven't played it that frequently. Like I played it every now and then. Like I still got an idea how to speedrun it. The speed tech, but it's difficult, and I'm sitting there thinking, if I just stick to this one game trying to beat the world record, I'm gonna probably sit here for years trying to even come close to that. So that the idea of get the world record then move on to the next game, I threw that out the window. I'm like, just get a decent time and then move on.
And then move on to another game that you can enjoy and not have to try to get the world record on it.
Yeah, because these are people that spend, months, maybe years to get that record. Yeah. You just can't, in one day get the record and move on.
Look at this guy thinking he could just come in and steal the world record and move on. So
not how it works.
What else did it? Was there anything else before you got into the rando scene? Was it any other 64 games or Super Nintendo games?
No, those are the only games I actually started playing rando before even Kirby.
Okay.
Just because there was a lot of competition right there. There's just it's a big field, a lot of people that are interested in rando. So I'm like, I played that for a bit, then the Kirby. But yes, those are the only two games I've speedrun so far.
So how did you find rando then? You said you were just browsing Twitch or what?
Oh yeah, when I was watching Bing Chang doing a stream of Quest 64, that's when I saw a notification right there, streams you might be interested in, and it showed Speed Gaming, one of them being there, and I just click on the link and it sent me. It was they were streaming a Link to the Past rando, and I'm seeing them play. I'm like, wait, how do they have these items early? I didn't know about rando was a thing. I didn't know rando existed for any game, so.
Right.
That caught my attention, and again, this being a game that I really loved as a child, it just caught my attention instantly. Like, damn, I want to try it. I want to play it.
So you joined the Discord or whatever, or did you where did you go to start learning how to play the game? Because you said you started learning a bunch of stuff before you started actually racing it.
Yeah, that's when people in the community were very nice enough, because I was one of those that would be asking a lot of questions on Twitch chat. Where do you get this information? Where do how do you sign up? How do you participate in these runs, whatever? And Twitch, Speed Gaming has their own commands in the channel, to go to this Discord, go to the site to sign up. And that's exactly what I did. Signed up for the Discord, and they had a lot of resources there to show you how to set up the game and, get going.
When was this? 2018?
Let me see. I started right when I started streaming. I want to say 2018?
Yeah, late 18.
October. Yeah, I want to say October 2018.
Yeah, I remember racing you in one of your first couple races. It was me, you, and P Train, and I want to say you destroyed us. And I remember, I know right away, and immediately when someone just shows up, and they beat you, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? I remember messaging P Train going like, have you heard of this Gammachuu guy? What the heck is going on here? How's he getting these good times without even ever playing? So how long did you play for before you actually started doing your first race? Like you said, you learned a bunch of glitches and stuff.
Yeah. So what I did was, I seen people constantly. I've been watching people a lot before I started playing, right? See them play. And I noticed, okay, the average time seems to be less than 2 hours, just for these normal seeds, right? Standard open. So I decided I'll do a practice run. I'm not going to speed run it. I'm just going to take a little casually and go for a 216 out of 216. Make sure I have all my, locations checked.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your first goal, is to get everything just so you could know where everything is?
And I remember watching this one runner, what is his name? AJ Neb. He would constantly get us up too, and it looked like he would get a lot of all dungeon seeds. So I figured, okay, let's try to shoot for all dungeons, some rando seed, all dungeons for sub 2. And no, it did not go good. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Yeah. At least when you're barely starting. It took me 2 hours and 36 minutes. I want to say that it was sub 240, but it was like 236, 237, and I died to Aga 2 as well. It was like 8 hearts on hand. Oh, wow. So, I'm looking at these runners. They're making it look like super easy. Like, it doesn't look terrible at all. And I died to Ago too. It's like, gosh, what's wrong with me? What the hell's the matter with me? Yeah. But obviously it's a little easier for me now. But, when you're starting off, again, it's not easy at all. The movement text, these boss fights, and you see people do on stream, it's definitely not easy.
So how long did you practice for before you actually did a race? Like how for
I want to say
weeks or
no, like 5 days, I want to say, because I would do a lot of them. Yeah, like when I want to get into the competitive scene very soon, very quick. I want to be racing with others. So
obviously,
like, when I would come home from work,
take the Quest 64 rando or Quest 64 speed run from the guy right away.
Yeah, I want to jump in there already and see kind of where I'm at. And I learned this, all the little techs, like, minor glitches. That was a lot of that time. I don't remember, but dark rooms was a big part of it, because I could see people. If you don't have lamp, you're scared to do these dark rooms, and you're gonna probably be behind by a lot just looking for the lamp if it ends up being like somewhere eastern or mire, some dark, rooms that you're gonna have to deal with anyway. So it's like, yeah, I forced myself to learn. I pulled up sites to see where the map, how they look, the dark rooms, and kind of like would practice it over and over. Do some seeds, a couple of seeds, practice them, play them, or pull them out from from SRL, from people that ran them and compare my times with them. Yeah, I would also do that as well. Like I would see the time, but I it was hard to not notice the finish times when you're getting the seed.
Sure.
But, I'm like, I don't care. I'm just,
See how well you could compete. So when you saw after a week of doing this a bunch, your time was going down and you were already competitive with the times that you were seeing on SRO?
Yeah, I feel like I was getting close to, frequently a sub 2 on these normal seeds because I didn't touch key sanity. It was just normal open standard. And it would constantly be under 2, close to other people and even beating them sometimes. I'm like, I feel pretty damn good now. I kind of want to jump in there already and do a live race with them rather than do these, async seeds. Async them. So
what was the first tournament that you joined?
The first tournament. Oh, geez, that's a good question. What tournament did I join first?
Spring 2019.
I want to say it was that probably the main. Yeah, it was a main tournament. I must have been 2019. Yeah. It had to be that one. I'm trying to remember. How did I even do in that one? Because I it's been so long. I don't remember. I don't remember. Right. It must have been 2019 something though.
Yeah. So right after you started playing, you qualified for that tournament. I think you did.
I did. I wanted to. Oh, okay. I think I remember now. Yeah, I do remember. I did qualify, but I came across. Who was it? I want to say I don't remember how far I got in there. I think I was top 64. I think that's what I was. But I got utterly destroyed by, what's his name? Aktaboker. He just demolished me, crushed me. I was paired up against him. I got matched up against him. I knew he was already a good runner. And he just wiped the floor with me, just destroyed. But, I felt good. Like, at least I qualified. That was kind of my 64. Goal.
Yeah, you qualified and made the top 64 in your first tournament. So I'm trying to find out the secret sauce. Were you good at video games when you were younger? Like, were you always like beating your friends or?
I was, I feel like I played a lot of games
growing up, like that pushed you.
Was friends and family, there's games like Smash Brothers is a big one, Super Smash Brothers. I played a lot of that with my friends and I like to, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I felt like I did pretty darn good. Compared to most people that, my neighborhood that I would play or I would hang out with. But I do remember back in high school, I got, I felt like I was on top of the world. I could beat anybody in Smash Brothers. But I ended up facing somebody who was actually in a Super Smash Brothers Melee tournament. He was a tournament player. And he just demolished me easily. Like I was not even close. I'm like, damn, these people who play, in that high competitive nature, they would just crush me. Here I am feeling like, I could, destroy you
like
easily.
Your shit don't stink.
I just felt like crap. Like, damn, how do I, I don't know how I think I feel good. And this guy just crushed me easily. It's like, damn, I don't know. It just felt pretty bad. Did that push you
to get better then? Or it feels like it? Or did you just I'm going to find something else that I could be good at?
No, Smash Brothers, I'm like, I don't want to put too much time and I'm okay. Like, I play more for fun. Like, I don't want to go super, like, ham, like, go for the goal kind of deal. Like, beating my friends, neighbors, and all that was good enough for me just to kind of gloat over them with that. Like, I beat you easily, hands down kind of deal.
So you started looking for world records, right? And then you found Rando. But you're like very adverse to doing NMG, like speedruns for Link to the Past. Why? Where's the disconnect?
NMG. Rando. When I found out Rando was a thing, it just feels so nice because you're playing practically a new seed. You don't know what's gonna come, right? Right. So it's always nice to have a fresh seed being thrown at you every time you play Rando or Link to the Past, and playing the vanilla game for speedrunning, that just it never clicked. I didn't know, I didn't know that it's a big thing that helps you was also improving execution. It just didn't occur to me. That did not occur to me until I started seeing a couple of runners speedrun that frequently. Who was it? I want to say Ari. Yeah, he came up pretty frequently. Yeah, that I would watch running it. So yeah, it just like the thought of it's cool. Just going. Always trying to go for a good time with that. But it's like I want a fresh seed. I want to know what where the swords are going to be, the hammer's going to be, the mitts, whatever. That's just kind of what came into me. I was not thinking speedrunning the vanilla game at all. More like playing the other games that I already had considered. But when I play Rando, Link to the Past, I don't think vanilla. I think,
you always go with randomizer. Yeah.
Yeah, the randomizer. So
did you have anyone mentoring you or helping you out when you first started to get to improve or to improve your execution? Or was it all you were just in a gym clicking those buttons, sweating away by yourself?
I would do a lot of nightly races. It was two people within the community. They would be frequent every night. Their names are Olhado, and Olhado was one of them that I would race a lot with. And the other, I'm trying to remember who it was, and it just I can't think of it right now. But Olhado was one, like every night, I come home, do my thing after work. I would like to see, okay, let's see who wants to do a race. Hopefully somebody out there would be willing to. And it would just usually be the same people. I want to say Lumaga too is one person I would see frequently back then. Every now and then that I would ping, and he would be one answering my pings. So those two I want to say, Lumaga and Olhado. I don't see Olhado much anymore, but Lumaga I know is still very much in the community.
So would you do races and just chat about the race and try to improve or whatever from there, or was it just you feel like the frequency of doing races almost every night?
Yeah, I feel like I would go over the seeds with my opponents, of course, and if they beat me, I like to know, okay, well, what could I have done to do better? And there would be not just these people that I would race with, it would be all others as well that would jump in. I want to say P-Train was also one of them as well. I would say he definitely did beat me pretty much a lot of the time. So I would like to, I would watch his streams frequently, his VODs, to see, okay, how did he beat me? And execution, of course, was one of them. I felt good, but there's definitely a lot more people out there that put more time into their execution. And that I felt like playing these seeds a lot back then has helped improve my execution more and more. Yeah. So I like to give credit to that.
You were just getting the reps in, trying to run as many games and trying to figure out why I'm losing or how to get better.
Yeah, constantly. Just over and over. I wanted to improve my execution. I didn't want to do NMG doing that. I just want to I'll play rando seeds, and sometimes if I didn't even know the speed tech, I just kind of I'll wing it and hope for the best kind of deal. There's times I'm just too lazy to learn some techs like Icebreaker that comes to mind, or Hero Pot. Those are things I still kind of wing it even to today.
Really?
I don't know the Hero Pot, the spin speed setup with the hook speed. I just keep kind of going with it and hope for the best. Just keep trying to hook shot the pot and hope I get through it.
My gosh.
I don't know the exact. I see people move it. I tried to do the pause buffering, the menu buffering, and I just couldn't make it work. So I'm like, I'll just go for it, wing it, kind of go for it. Just hook shot the pot and see if it works, and it does. I'm like, okay, I'll just do it that way when I have boots. Yeah. And Icebreaker, I don't know the correct pixel for that. I just keep going, hit the wall until you feel like you're in the position. And
oh my gosh!
Hope for the best.
80% win rate, everyone. Can you believe this guy? He doesn't even know how to do Icebreaker. He just pushes buttons and hopes he gets it right.
Yeah, that's what it is, really. Just a little laziness. That's just what it is.
Yeah. So you ended up joining my league team in season 2, which ended up being a pretty successful season for us. I think we finished in second place that year.
Oh yeah, it was you, one up, and I was really happy because playing with a team, a group of buddies, in a tournament setting makes it much more fun, right? Kind of poke fun at each other. Yeah, I really did enjoy that. Also playing different modes that I'm not used to. It's pretty exciting. It's definitely very exciting. The co-op was very much my favorite part of that. The league.
For sure. I think co-op was one of the reasons I created the league. I think it's like the most fun way to play the game because I'm able to ride your coattails, because we ended up doing the co-op tournament run on the casual Discord there, I think shortly after that season of the league, where we also finished in second place, I think. Did we lose to... No, we lost to Hitsu and Thalane, I think, for that one.
Yeah, it was those two. It's co-op. It's always been my favorite, and it's always going to be my favorite. Anytime there's a co-op tournament that that's out there, I'm probably going to join it because it's always fun to have somebody right there, kind of poking fun at it, take their blames. It's your fault we lost, kind of deal.
Sure. So a lot of people see you as like the nice guy of ALTTPR Rando because you do, despite being a dick sometimes, that people might not see. You help a lot of people. Like you kind of volunteer a bunch of your time to help out people in the community, whether it be through the mentor tournament or through I know you did a lot of mentoring with the Spanish community as well. Where do you see your role as a mentor in ALTTPR?
Well, first off, let's back up a bit. I don't know what you're talking about when you're calling me a dick. I'm just, when I come into contact with people, I just there to spread, cheer, and joy, right? Yeah. I don't want to deal with any problems,
Right. That's the public image that we want to portray of Gammachuu. Vote for Gammachuu for president, right? That's the one. I've seen behind the closed doors of who Gammachuu is. I'm trying to open those doors just a little bit to see who you really are.
Don't believe fear. But I mean...
You are... Yes, you're a good person, and you do like to help out the community. So where does that role come from, and what do you see do you see it as I like to mentor people, or I like to help others get better? Besides helping GGW or anything. Those guys.
Yeah, I like to give them a lot of a hard time a lot of the time, but for fun, but. I thought it was really cool that they have a Go Mode podcast, hosting these mentor tournaments to have these potential new runners come into the rando scene, and they might be more encouraged to have somebody helping them out. Like if I had somebody kind of guide me or tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I could do to improve myself, I thought that was just a cool idea, and bringing a lot of new people in the community. And the more people you have, more people you could race against, right?
Yeah.
And it's good to see how they improve over time, after maybe if they stick around for a year or 2 years and 3 years. And
well, there was a year, I think it was like maybe the second mentor tournament that they ran, where a lot of I want to say it's like the 40 bonk server people, a lot of them you helped mentor, and we've seen them grow and become giants in the community.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that them still sticking around the community, even mentoring themselves, new runners as well. I try to give as much of my time as I can to help people, but my work schedule kind of made it very difficult. So I was only able usually to do only once or twice a week. I know there's people out there that do more, and kudos to them. I like to thank them because it's cool, putting that much time to help new runners out there. I just couldn't do it. I would like to, but it just works makes it a little difficult. Sure. But most people that come to mind right now would be Vortex of Doom. I know that he was one of the people I mentored. I like to say as my main one. The first time I did mentoring, I'm trying to remember what year it was. Maybe 2020. I want to say.
Maybe late 2019 or something.
Yeah. It's been I don't remember when. Yeah, but he was one of them. I helped other people too in that year, that tournament. It's been so long. But it's mostly people that are in the 40 Bonks Discord. But Vortex was one that, that I did mentor, and it's good to see him. You know, he's mentoring other people as well, and look how far he's come. The tournaments he's in, he's done very good for himself. I'm very proud that he continues to improve in it. Also running a lot of NMG to improve that execution of his. So he has a solid time. He's a very good runner, and you know, just it's nice to see them go and, you know, keep going, trying to better themselves, and also, you know, helping others, newcomers out there, with this Go Mode podcast mentor tournament that's happening right now. It's really nice to see that.
Are you going to be mentoring this year in the Go Mode podcast tournament 2022?
I'm only probably going to have time to do like maybe 1-2 people at most a week. Like, I'll try to do what I can to help them out. You know, if anybody asks me, I already signed up. You know, I'll, you know, it's going to be kind of like a first come, first serve kind of deal. So, yeah, I don't have any, like, you know, no prep. Anybody needs help, you know, just ask me. But if somebody already asked me, you know, I might not be available most likely. But also trying to also help out the people in the Spanish community, because I believe there's quite a bit of them that also joined the first time this year. So, but yeah, like I said, if anybody asks me first and our availability works out, you know, I'll do what I can to help you out, and hopefully convince you to stay in the rando community, and, you know, see if you could, you know, stay here in the long run. Because again, it's always nice to see how they do, you know, further down the road after the tournament's over.
Right. Yeah, it's cool to see a lot of those people that you helped early on, like you said, really develop and blossom into their own runners that are like dominating in the competitive scene as well. So let's talk 2021 main tournament. You end up finishing second place against Dante. Just give me some general thoughts on qualifying that, and then I want to say, did you go undefeated through the bracket stage?
Oh yeah, that was a good year. That was the closest I've ever been to winning the whole tournament. Not just winning it, almost going completely undefeated in the whole tournament until it came to the final round. I made it through brackets, groups, and all that without losing a single race until I came across my kryptonite practically, Dante, just you know, showing me who the boss is really, and he's the one that just knocked me out of the tournament. It was definitely fun to go across all those people that I came across, you know, in the brackets groups. Like, damn, how the hell did I beat them without taking a loss? You know, it's just, you know, of course, luck. There's always going to be luck in rando. It's not just all skill. Skill is a big part of it, but also luck. And I feel like I may have done a few, you know, stupid play, like, oh, I didn't know that was in logic, or I shouldn't have done this, and it paid off. And you know, it worked out, fortunately. But I had a very fun time. It was very good to feel, you know, to go all the way to the finals without taking a single loss in the tournament. That felt great.
Yeah, I think I have one question, and that is how. Like, how do you go undefeated against? Because when you're playing in the brackets, you're playing against some of the best people in the community. You're playing against the best runners that have qualified, not only through the qualifiers, but through the group stage and now into the brackets, and you go undefeated. That's nuts. How? Like, explain to me.
I don't know.
How.
I was shocked. You know, I feel like, you know, these are names that were popping now in the tournament. Like, you know, like, I'm gonna be facing this person next or that person next. Like, I'm gonna take a loss. You know, there's no way I'm gonna end up sweeping them too. Oh, it's just not. It's very unlikely. And, you know, after every opponent I was going through progressing, you know, without taking a loss, like, shit, how is this happening? You know, it's like, I expect a loss somewhere, you know, there's no way I'm going to go undefeated. They're big names too. So, you know, I come across these names. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to go undefeated here. Somebody's going to beat me. Somebody's going to take me down. And, you know, I'm going like the top 30, round 32, round of 16, 8. Like, yeah, they're going to beat me. Like, I'm already happy because I think that year, my goal was to be top 16. And I got top 32 or 64 the year before. And I'm like, you know, 30, 32, 16, I'll be happy with 16. I got to 16. I'm like, okay, if I lose, I don't care. You know, I at least achieved my goal. And no, just keep going further down the line until I reach the finals versus Dante. Like, geez, like I even remember the interview I had right before. I ended up winning the round 4. I guarantee you, I will take a loss. Like racing versus Dante. Like, there's no way I could go a whole tournament without taking a loss. That's just, I don't know if it's ever happened before. I didn't know if that was somebody actually did.
I don't know about that. So you go undefeated, and then you face Dante, and you end up going, what was it, 1-2 against Dante, going 3 games.
Yeah, I remember too the first one. I want to say it was the first one. Like, that was my own mistake. I did an oops and left pod early after killing Helmasaur. You kill a Helmasaur and you think, okay, you're done with the dungeon, save and quit. And I forgot. I realized after the save and quit, like, oh no, I still left 3 items in the back. I just got the big key on right side and just left. Like, oh, let's hope there's nothing there. But no, it just, but still, again, going, making it to the finals and, going 1-2 versus Dante, it felt like an accomplishment. Like, I still made it as far as I wanted to. I got to where I want to be, so I'm already happy with that. I can't be upset, right? You make it to the finals undefeated. That's already an accomplishment in itself.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the mode played into it at all? Like, did you like standard? Because it was the standard, hard standard or something all season, or for the entire tournament.
I was also feeling a little burned out, like the same thing over and over. Like, it feels like you're running energy the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game. Was going through escape sequence. I felt pretty good though. I maybe just a little burned out, just because, again, playing a lot of those modes, one after
over and over again.
Yeah, but no, I don't think it did. Just, I enjoyed myself. I played my best. I played my game, and at the end, it was Dante who ended up crushing me. And he's a good runner after all. So I'm just glad, again, I managed to go up against him. And it's always fun to go up against these well-respected runners of the community. So I'll gladly take that.
So let's talk about your approach, because I talked about this with Dante as well. I don't see you get tilted. Now, having saying that, you will have an 80% win rate on the ladder. Again, so you only lose 20% of the time. What's your approach? Like, how do you approach the game to keep it so that you're not getting hard tilted, or you're not getting upset when you lose on the rare occasion that you do lose a randomizer race? How do you keep it square?
I feel like sometimes my brain just turns on stupid mode when I feel like I'm behind. Like, I'm making all the right plays, keep playing your game, hope for the best, and hope your execution is kind of keeping you ahead of your opponents. But sometimes there's those times when I feel like, I last located, I feel like garbage, I double dip every dungeon in existence. Like, it's time to turn on stupid mode and go for the gambles. And I don't know, I just go with some awkward plays that maybe people wouldn't do and cross my fingers, hope for the best. But most of the time I like to think, even though I made bad plays, I kind of hope execution plays a big part. Or, the longer the seed plays out, the better I feel it would be for me, just because I feel confident in my execution. I'm not airy type execution level though, but I feel mostly comfortable enough most of the time. Like, I feel like I could be close on match to most runners, on par with them. So I just hope for, play my best, clear efficiently. Routing is another big thing. Route as much, the best way you can. Make gambles and kind of stick to them. Like Pendant Eastern, never touch Pendant Eastern. That's my advice to everybody, including those in the mentor tournament. It's a terrible, awful play. It's an Aga play. Go for it. That also, I remember that was being a thing between me and Dante in one of our matches. We'd never touch Pendant Eastern, and there was a crucial item in there. But yeah, it's just, kind of stick to committed gambles that you're used to. And, hope your opponent does it and finds nothing, because, and also not trying your best not to die to boss fights, because that's a massive time loss. Dying somewhere as simple as the Skullwoods Mothula fight, that's like, 2 minutes that you could doing, half clearing a pod area or Swamp Palace. It's massive. It's massive. they add up. They add up.
Sure. That's the game. I'm talking about more of is there a Zen-like feeling you have when you play the game? Like approaching, not even like actually playing the game. When you approach the game, or I'm playing this game and win, lose, or draw, I'm going to come out the same, or how do you actually approach it?
No, I get tilted. I just, just starting the game, I just kind of hope for the best deal, play your game, always go for the same starting route. Try not to change it too much. Try not to metagame your opponents too, because that always tends to fail, or I feel like most of the time that fails. Just play your best, play the way you normally would. Don't change it up just because your opponent might, make this different play or whatever. That's the approach I try to go with most of the time. Again, efficiency, just hope for the best, and that's all I can really say about that. Let's just
Are
pray.
You not results oriented though? Do you just let the results be the results? Because I think that's a problem, not just obviously in this community, but in any sort of competition, is where you're so results oriented that you end up allowing it to affect how you treat others or your mood. Because it's definitely this is, I'm preaching to the choir here. I do this so often. Is it, I'm going to win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be all right, or it doesn't really matter? Or what's your approach to that?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to let it get to me. Like, you're playing a seed, right? And like you're doing bad, like just kind of accept the results. Like, I've lost this, but that's fine. I'm just going to still try to have fun with it. Still try to play my best, even though I feel like I lost. Like, try to do what you can to improve your execution, going through these rooms over and over, like Ganon's Tower you're going to go through, or these other dungeons you're clearing, do it the best you can. Try not to think too much about the win and loss too. Like, if you feel like you lost, fine. Like ladder, people sign up to get alerts if they lost or something, if they lost or not. I don't keep that on at all. Like, I don't want to know anything until I'm done with the seed. Like, maybe I lost, that's fine. I'll just assume I lost, but keep playing my best. And, I end up finding out, oh, I won, maybe they did something different. They died or something, try not to let it affect you. I just, keep playing, trying to play my best, even if I assume like I lost. Like, you don't know how they play it. Just play your best. That's all I can say about that. Really, just don't let it get to you. Like, it's hard not to, but there's those times when you already feel you lost and you lost. Well, I knew that was coming. There's always next time. There's always next time. You can't win them all.
Well, let's get into specific, and I'm sure you knew I was going to bring this up. Let's talk about League Season 4.
Oh, yeah. That was coming.
League Season 4, Skull Kids, you, myself, and Shireen. I end up dropping out for personal reasons. You guys get a ringer with with Ramon as a replacement for me. And we're not going to throw anybody on the bus. We're not going to, let's just talk about, let's be real. Going into game 4, it's you versus Nep, and you have a pretty giant lead, and you have a console crash as you start to climb GT. Your reactions?
I don't want to throw too much out there. It's shitty, right? Your console crashes, you're playing. I assumed I was already losing to begin with, so I didn't think too much about it. But then when I realized, like, wait, I was actually ahead by this much, and I just assumed, maybe, hopefully, cross my fingers, they give me a rematch at the very least. No, it doesn't happen. I'm like, well, I have to accept the results. I'm obviously not happy about that. None of my teammates are really happy about that. You want to take the win like that by default, even though you kind of knew you were, high chance you might have lost at that point. But, it is what it is. When we knew the rules going, signing up into the tournament, right. These kind of things happen. It happened to me. Oh, well, get over it. There's always next time. You can't win them all again. So we didn't really like it because, that's just, I personally do not like to take a win like that, knowing, if that happened to me and I knew I was going to lose, well, you know, I'll give them the win, or, you know, at the very least, give them a rematch. Like, you know, I don't like to take wins like that personally. Like, it just feels like a dirty win. But, you know, it didn't happen. They wanted to move on to game 5. Like, well, you know, they took the win. Do we really care? Like, I don't really care at this point. You know, my team kind of like went with the idea, like, you know, just let them have it. It's fine. There's always next time. We'll probably try to get them next season. Let them have the win, and that's how we kind of did it. I didn't, you know, I don't want to, like, you know, at the end of the day, we all want to go home happy. We don't want to go thinking any negativity, nothing like that. So it's like, I didn't say anything online. I like, you know, I don't want to spread any rumors. I don't want to spread any, oh, this person's a terrible person, you know, avoid them kind of deal. No, it just, it's fine. It's fine. These things happen. Console crashes happen. Emulator crashes. You know, it just it is what it is. Just move on from there, and just better luck next time.
Right, because Nep is great, and the Titans Mids are great, and those are all great people, and Shireen and Ramon. And it's like, it's hard not to take stuff personally, for sure. But in a competitive sense, there's a lot going on here. Now, you weren't involved in Game 5, but your team was represented, and they decided to pre-forfeit the Game 5, which, as a former Skull Kid member, let's just say I wasn't happy about. Like, obviously, I wasn't a part of the decision. I wasn't part of the team. In fact, at the time I was running the league, and I am no longer running the league. So help me figure out Game 5, the Game 5 decision, because, you know, the console crash sucks. It definitely does, especially when you're, you know, if you were losing and the console crash happens, it's not that big of a deal, but you had that, you know, a decent enough lead to where,
well, there's also
99% chance you're going to win that race. You know, there's a very tiny sliver of a chance you lose that race, but whatever. And she chooses not to, which is 100% in her right, not to take a rematch or offer a rematch, or just she takes the win, and she's whether you agree with that or not. That's the game. But then Game 5 never happens, and for me, again, as a former Skull Kid, I need help with that one. So you tell me, can you help me?
Okay. All right. So, I mean, okay, you know, obviously in the moment, you know what happened, you know what was going on. You know, it looks like, you know, the results were going to be clear that if they continued to play out the way they did. And, you know, you take the win because, you know, my console crashed. Like, okay, sure. I'm not happy about it, obviously. I don't make a big deal about it, though, in public. Like, you know, it's like, this is shit. You know, it's a shitty feeling, but, you know, it is what it is. But it kind of felt like I recall somebody posting something in the Discord, in the League Discord, and some of the mod teams, I don't remember if it was someone in the admin team. I want to say somebody in the mod team kind of made it look like trying to make it seem like, you know, I forgot what it was. It was something that kind of pushed us to say, you know, I don't want to, they want to give this false scenario, like, you know, I forgot what it was. But somebody from the mod team said something that I just didn't like, Shireen didn't like, Rahman didn't like. We talked about it, like, you know, you want to do Game 5, go for it. Like, I'll support whatever decision my team decides to do. If you don't, that's fine. You know, let it seem like they have the win by default. Like, this is how they want to continue it with it. That's fine. You know, just let them have it. Like, I don't care. It's only a title after all. I tell a lot of people too, you know, even if you have a title under your belt, it's random after all. You're not always going to win. There's always going to be a new winner. Like, you know, I've won other tournaments myself, like, you know, not the main tournament, of course, but like the Spanish tournament, the AD Keys tournament that just recently happened. But I tell people, you know, these titles mean nothing. They mean nothing. It's for fun. There's always going to be a new winner out there. So
I think that's the hard part, right? Is like, this is all supposed to be fun, with a few exceptions where there's actual prizes, like the ladder, like the ladder races that are for prizes, or SGL. There's cash prize. Everything else is just there's no actual fun, stakes, right?
Yeah.
And so when moments like these happen, where it kind of eliminates the fun, it's kind of like, it's just kind of it's tough. it was definitely a tough situation for me as an admin and as a former member and things like that. And I'm sure, we've all moved on, and like, you harbor, I don't know if I'm speaking for you or not, but there's no ill will towards the Titansmiths. I don't believe.
No, it is what it is, right? So I'm not, I'm not gonna like, hey, I don't like you, I don't ever want to see you again, or you suck kind of deal. No, they're all still wonderful people. It's just and in that moment you kind of feel like just upset, I'm not happy, but I'm not gonna go on my start saying bad things about them behind their backs kind of deal, like don't follow these people are
I think
mean
that's kind
or
of
whatever.
It got contentious even outside of the people that were involved. I remember I think Schulzer ended up getting suspended or something from race time for some of his comments and harassment of Sailor Nep, which you can confirm Skull Kids had nothing to do with that, right?
No, I did remember saying on my stream too at one time, please don't attack them, don't do anything just because you feel like we deserve the win, because I did get a few messages through DM. I'm not gonna say who they were, but they say, the results would have been obvious if they continued the way they did. It sucks that the results turned out that way, but it's I would tell him, just please don't do anything. Like, don't start a fire in the Discord. Don't say anything. And there was quite a few messages I got from people that said, if I should type this, that, no, don't do that. Just leave it the way it is. Move on. We're here for fun after all. Again, we don't want to start, putting undue pressure or, piss off people online. We're here for fun at the end of the day.
That's the hard part is, how do we all get along, right? Like, even if we agree to disagree, can we all get along? Whether or not, Nep was obviously within her rights to do exactly what she did, and there's should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that's, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to agree with it, but if you're a dick or an asshole to Nep or the Titansmiths or the people that don't agree with you, then it becomes a problem, I think.
Yeah, because I do recall a heated discussion happening in the 40 Bonks Discord, and I'm sure there have been other Discords where talked about it. But, I'm looking, I don't say anything because I don't want to inject myself in these conversations. Not just this, any conversation that may be like a hot topic, I don't like to give my opinion on them. Like, I'll keep it to myself. I don't want to say like, I'm in their side or on their side, my side, whatever. I don't want to put myself there. Like, everybody's going to have their own opinion. Everybody's not going to agree with what you did or what one does. It is what it is.
Sure. So let's get some more hot butt. Let's go into some more hot topics, right? Let's put Gamma's opinion out there on everything, right?
Yeah, let's go. I'm right here. Right now's the time.
I can't even think of anything. Hovering. Where do you stand on hovering, Gamma?
Oh, please ban it. Get that shit out of here. Nobody wants that. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, hey, I got bounce. That's all I need. I got my Molder bounce.
Yeah. Well, cool. I think. Are you good, man? You good? We miss anything? We covered it all?
Fantastic. I think we covered it all. I mean, I'm happy. I'm going to continue playing Rando. I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon. It's like my game. I really enjoy it. It's just what it is. I really love Rando, and I'm going to stick around, not leaving anytime soon, because, you pull a win out of certain people in the community you get close to, you kind of want to rub it in their face, so...
Nice guy Gamma here. All right, dude. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. This was fun. I really appreciate it.
Don't let Gamma fool you. He is an asshole. And I say that with all love and respect for Gammachuu. I hate racing a guy because he's so good and he always beats me. And I hate to lose, and I just can't get one up on that guy. But, most people can't because he is that good, and I hate to admit it. I just want to thank Gammachuu for coming on and being honest and talking about all that he talked about. So, again, thank you for listening to the show. I can't thank you enough for listening. Already getting reviews on iTunes or got a review on iTunes. That's awesome. If you can review us on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to, please do it. Just helps the show. if you can tell your friends, have them join the Discord, ask questions, just be involved. I think that's the best way to support the show. Just help us get more listeners. That's kind of what I want, or what we need for the show to grow is word of mouth. Just if you're enjoying these conversations, tell your friends to listen and subscribe. Available on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, Simplecast, all these casts. You can find the show. We've got links on the Discord to the different apps, so you can subscribe there. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/FearAgent_. Streaming more there. Doing some racing. It's been fun. We'll see where it goes. All right. Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see y'all next week.